In an interview with Tucker Carlson, Twitter CEO Elon Musk revealed that government agencies had a high level of access to the Twitter platform and its users. Musk announced that government agencies even had access to direct messages on the platform.
The degree to which various government agencies had effectively had full access to everything that was going on Twitter blew my mind. I was not aware of that.
Would that include people's DMs?
Yes.
Musk's Twitter is currently working on rolling out end-to-end encryption for direct messages. That would allow users to communicate privately without anyone being able to intercept and snoop on private communication. The technology is similar to that used on end-to-end encrypted messenger apps, such as Signal. However, governments all around the world are waging a growing war against privacy, demanding that government agencies and law enforcement have easier access to people's messages. To do this, they're using the guise of wanting to prevent the sharing of child sexual abuse material known as CSAM. In the United States, this is coming in the form of the Earn It Act. This bipartisan attempt is sponsored by Republican Lindsey Graham and Democrat Richard Blumenthal, but now Republican Senator Marsha Blackburn has also joined in, to bring changes to the Communications Decency Act Section 230. The bill is now on its third iteration, having failed to go anywhere when it was first introduced back in 2020. The aim of the bill is to combat child exploitation online, but in reality, the proposed legislation offers no meaningful solutions to that problem. What it would do instead is provide a legal framework to undermine end-to-end encryption, eradicating private communications for all. The Earn It Act would not only undermine Section 230, but also the U.S. Constitution's First Amendment. Both of these are designed to, in their own way, protect free speech, since being found in violation of the act would put online platforms in legal trouble. The logical premise is that they would restrict speech to protect themselves, fatally compromising their own security and messaging services, is one way in which platforms would be forced to comply with the act. The Earn It Act has some other high-profile critics. Whistleblower Edward Snowden chose to look at the big picture as he tweeted that the proposed bill is, quote, only the latest attack in the government's very long war on encryption. Snowden in this context recalled an article in the Washington Post about Crypto AG, a Swiss company compromised by U.S. and German spy services that went on to, for many decades, quote, sabotage the communications of allies and adversaries alike. In the UK, the attack on private communication is coming in the form of the controversial so-called Online Safety Bill, which would force tech companies to scan people's private messages on end-to-end encrypted apps. The UK government says that its proposals are purely down to tackling child abuse material. However, once tech platforms are forced to add a backdoor system to their messaging apps, state actors could easily secretly compel the platforms to hand over other forms of content. Previous versions of the bill would have required tech companies to use what it called accredited technology to scan and detect terrorism and CSAM content. However, a new amendment proposed on July 6 states that companies should strive to use, quote, best endeavors to develop or source technology to flag and remove CSAM. The requirements would apply to messages communicated publicly and privately. But it's not just the United States and the UK that are trying to undermine private communications. The EU is in on it as well, of course. In 2020, papers leaked and reported by Austria's German-language press, posted by John Scott Railton of University of Toronto's Citizen Lab, suggests that the EU's Council of Ministers was close to formalizing its war on encryption. The executive body of the EU seems to be nearing a resolution that would result in the banning of end-to-end encryption in apps like WhatsApp and Signal. Keep in mind, some have been calling for an end to private conversations, just so big tech can step in and correct so-called misinformation in everyone's private chats. The latest proposals state that, at the request of a government agency, quote, providers of hosting services and providers of interpersonal communication services that have received a detection order shall execute it by installing and operating technologies to detect CSAM. Cryptographer and professor at Johns Hopkins University, Matthew Green described the proposals as the most terrifying thing he has ever seen. What's worse is that the politicians pushing for this invasion on privacy have little idea about how the technology actually works. In recent interviews on Swedish media, the European Commissioner in charge of the Chat Control Bill, Ylva Johansson, has shown that she does not understand the bill, the consequences it will have, and technology in general. In interviews, she has repeatedly and falsely claimed that it is possible to scan end-to-end encrypted communications for child sex abuse material without breaking the encryption. She said the following:
Today they can scan almost anything anyway if they're looking for child sex material. In my bill, it will only be following a court order that permission can be obtained to scan and continue to scan for child sex material, so that we will continue to get the reports that facilitate the apprehension of perpetrators and that allow us to protect and save the children.
Johansson is wrong in saying that apps are already scanning end-to-end encrypted messages. The technologies behind apps such as Signal are open source and easily vetted, proving the commissioner wrong. Johansson further somehow insisted that the bill is about, quote, sniffing for child sex abuse material, not proactively scanning for it, whatever that means.
It's about sniffing, checking out, you could say. It's not as if you read the communication. I mean, it's like a police dog being able to smell if there's something there.
The commissioner went on to claim that the scanning technology has existed for about a decade, and that, quote, there are incredibly few cases where someone has been falsely reported when contacting their guardian or anyone else. Also false. But civil liberties groups and the developers of the apps themselves are pushing back against the efforts from world governments to end privacy. Signal, WhatsApp, and other encrypted messaging services have called on the UK government to drop a proposal in the online safety bill that would require them to undermine end-to-end encryption and allow the government access to messages. We support strong encryption, a government official said, but this cannot come at the cost of public safety. Tech companies have a moral duty to ensure they are not blinding themselves and law enforcement to the unprecedented levels of child sexual abuse on their platforms. The online safety bill in no way represents a ban on end-to-end encryption, nor will it require services to weaken encryption, the government spokesperson said without explaining further. In an open letter, signed by executives at companies providing encrypted messaging services, the government was told,
Weakening encryption, undermining privacy, and introducing the mass surveillance of people's private communications is not the way forward.
The letter was signed by executives at Element WhatsApp, Signal, Threema, Viber, Wire, the Oxen Privacy Tech Foundation, and Session. The executives said that, as is, the bill would result in, quote, routine, general, and indiscriminate surveillance of private messages. They noted that it would also risk, quote, emboldening hostile governments who may seek to draft copycat laws. End-to-end encryption, once hailed as the bedrock of secure communication, is now under siege. Governments worldwide argue that breaking this digital fortress is essential for the sake of national security and to protect against child abuse. But at what cost? We already live in a world where we have uncovered stories of everyday people whose lives have been turned upside down, their privacy invaded without their knowledge or consent. We have witnessed the chilling effect this has on free speech, as people grow wary of expressing their thoughts and opinions, fearful that an unseen observer might be watching, listening, and judging. We have also covered stories delving into the labyrinthine world of cyber warfare and espionage, where encryption is both a weapon and a shield. The balance of power between governments and citizens is fraught, with citizens needing to be able to speak freely to hold their governments accountable in any true democracy. In this high-stakes game, the question of whether to weaken encryption for the sake of government snooping is fraught with peril. But amid the darkness, we've also encountered beacons of hope. Individuals, organizations, and even some governments that are fighting to preserve our fundamental right to privacy. They remind us that encryption is not merely a tool for criminals, but a means for ordinary people to protect their personal lives, their relationships, and their beliefs from unwarranted intrusion.
1, 2, 3 into the 4. Snoop Doggy Dogg and Dr. Dre is at the It's like this and like that and like this and It's like that and like this and like that and It's like this and like that and like this and Dre creep to the mic like a fan.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Good morning. The poll is in and all is well. Everything is set up but the clapper right now. Hopefully the sound is coming through all right. Let's see here. Start live. Got to fix that little camera there. Hopefully you guys are getting what you want out of this and this stupid hat. Let's see. Notify. Notify has been sent out. This is magical because I can drink my coffee. Oh, there it is. It's the best. There we go. Tafel, good morning. Jester says, you loser. It is what it is. It is what it is. It is what it is. All right, looks like people are folding into the stream. Let's go ahead and I'm going to do a quick link to, let's see. I'm going to go ahead and do a quick screen share. There we go. Post details. Share. There it is. All right. So, yeah, you guys decided this. We gave you the choice of 4 different of these crazy hats, and the Spartan helmet won. The Spartan helmet won. It's actually not that uncomfortable, but it's not what I wanted. I really wanted the tactical one. Next time, I won't give you a choice. That does not look too comfortable. I went with tinfoil Viking hat. Gotcha. That one's not that super. That one's not that bad. The most comfortable one is the tinfoil helmet. Let's see here. Let's see. Yeah. So that is happening. We're going to go ahead and say we're some good mornings. We're going to be on the clapper right now. Tefel was first, and where are we at here? Believe it or not, Doomsday. Number 2, I believe that. Where we got here? Mini Haven. There we go. Boy Scouts here. Good morning. Texas Patriot Biker. Had to get a new account. Gotcha, Broseph. Yeah, stay out of trouble. Stay out of TikTok jail, and you won't have these problems. Let's see here. And looks like we're okay on the old clapper. Nothing in the super secret live stream chat. Here we go. Let's go on over to. Looks like we got some people on the old YouTube side. Who was first on YouTube? Wow, Catitude first, and then Bradley. Good morning, number 2, West Virginia Pappy. Deanna, Window Liquor. Who else we got in here? And that's it. That is commenting. If you don't comment, if you don't say good morning, I don't say good morning back. Bar first on the old Rumbles. West Virginia Pappy. Omnipresent is number 2. And Netta, good morning. Ike and Blaine, good morning, my friends. Good morning, my friends. This thing's already starting to hurt my forehead, so I will definitely not be wearing it the entire time. That is faux show. We're going to take that out of there real quick. We're going to, oh, wait, clip art. People making memes. That's the only chance you're getting. Can you do Batman next week, Bradley asked. No, I will not do Batman. Matter of fact, these helmets are pretty much a short-lived thing. People sent them to me on the I Love Me or the what is it? My Amazon list. And I'm gonna need a cough drop. Kaylee, good morning. Yay. Yes, nice helmet. I wish they would make them more comfortable. That is for sure. This one has a visor feature that doesn't go all the way up. Yum, yum, yum. All right, let's see here. So, as usual, it's Bad News Friday. It's just the way of the world. There's not a lot we can do about this. I don't see anything in there. I don't see anything. The beard complements that hat. Look badass. Thank you, Window Liquor. I appreciate it. Hey, I made it, and only 8 minutes late. Yes, Good Boys Guild made it. And congratulations to the young son for graduation of the old high school indoctrination course. Let's see. Where we got? West Virginia Pappy. West Virginia Pappy is truly omnipresent at this point. He's on every single chat. All right, let's see. Let's go ahead and tool on over to this because this is the headlines. This is that stuff that I don't. Have you guys ever noticed that I don't talk about like whenever things are blowing up, like it's happening right now? I don't talk about that crap because that is just if you missed the live stream last night with the survivalist prepper Dale, then you really missed a good show. We talked about how fear porn is being utilized not just by the media but by the YouTubers. They're always trying to jump on the fear bandwagon. You know, I just popped into one prominent live streamer just before this, and it was all doom and gloom and blah blah blah, and there's like 500 people in there listening to this guy's every word, and I'm like, dude, he says the same stinking thing every single time. Turn on MSNBC, turn on Fox News, whatever they're running, that's what these people talk about. It's a freaking joke. Let's talk about some facts, and then let's laugh about it a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and share this screen right here. Boop, shared. If you didn't know, you can actually receive emails directly from the Director of Homeland Security. That's right. There's capabilities for stuff all over the place. No one else will bring this to you but me, and you know it. Why waste emotion on what you cannot control? Absolutely true. Absolutely true, Mini Heaven. Absolutely true. So this came in last night. So and this is from the Secretary of Homeland Security, Alejandro Mayorkas. He's a scumbag. I hate him. Quote, starting tonight, people who arrive at the border without using lawful pathways will be presumed ineligible for asylum. We're ready to humanly process and remove people without a legal basis to remain in the United States. We have 24,000 Border Patrol agents and officers at the southwest border and have surged thousands of troops and contractors and over 1,000 asylum officers to help enforce our laws. Do not believe the lies of the smugglers. The border is not open. People who do not use available lawful pathways to enter the U.S. now face tougher consequences, including a minimum 5-year ban on re-entry and potential criminal prosecution. Together with our partners throughout the federal government and Western Hemisphere, we are prepared for this transition. Transition. What transition do you speak of? There's a question for you. This whole statement is just plagued with bullshittery. You know, and they was a day before yesterday is when they decided to institute a Trump era policy that they frickin' turned off 2 years ago, thinking that, oh, well, they're using social media and they'll pay attention to the words that we say. And yeah, no, they're not stupid. They know that the border is open. They know that they're going to come across. They know that they're going to get their fingerprints and name taken. And then they know that they're going to go, hey, wherever you get to, man, go find an ICE agent and turn yourself into them somewhere on the interior. Yeah, that's our plan. And that's what they're doing. They actually promoted it 2 days ago. Little like they're not talking about anything, you know? How come I can see you here, but Rumble is on the intro video? Because Rumble is always in. You need to hit your refresh button, Boy Scout. Rumble is always in a little bit of a delay. I'm watching myself right now on Rumble. Jeff, no thanks. Good morning, my friend. Good to see you. Yeah, you got to hit your refresh button. Rumble is always like in this constant loop. I think it's because of their on Rumble. Somebody asked me about this morning. I think it was Brad asked me about this morning. How come I can watch your intro? Because I like to do like a crowd intro or build up before I actually go on live. It's only anywhere from 7 to 10 minutes. And how come I can watch your intro on YouTube, but I don't see your intro on Rumble? Well, a lot of times it is playing. You just have to refresh it. What happens is you go in there and there's a loop video that I have to put in there in order to turn the Rumble on. It's really broken. It's really stupid. Rumble, if you're listening, fix that shit. It's dumb. Anyway, and so that thing plays over and over and over. It's like a little 60-second loop video. It's nothing, right? And then if you don't refresh your page at the time that I physically go live, it just keeps playing. It's really dumb. Let's see here. Texas is now the new Mexico. Jester, very true. Let's see here. Kaylee says, I'm a little bit, I'm not going to lie, I'm a little bit concerned what will happen in the next weeks. Let's see here. I already dislike the old New Mexico. Laugh out loud. Yeah, it's the things that are happening now, or my face itches, that are happening now, that are, and the things that are about to happen. They're going to be, we talked about this last night during the live stream. If you guys didn't catch it, please go back. It did get promoted and shown on my YouTube page. Rumble kind of crapped out on me last night. I don't know why. I'm going to try and upload it to YouTube later today, and so that people can watch it during the weekend or whatever. I'll try to get it up there by 3:00 today. We'll see what happens, but no promises, because it's an hour-long video. It takes a while to process and download and all that other crap, So, it should be very concerning, because we often complain about the infrastructure, and we don't know that we're doing well. What was it? The Obama phones. What was it? These key people are being given, unemployment stipends. They're being put up on the taxpayer's dollar. The money will run out. There is not enough money in the infrastructure to support these people. And when that happens, they will turn to, unfortunately, crime. They will do anything in their power to survive. It's not that they're bad people. They just want to survive. They want to be Americans. They want a job, but they can't have a job because they don't have a Social Security number. The illegal immigrant labor market will explode, but the businesses will also be very scared to do it, because they know if they get caught, they're really screwed. It's right up there with the whole real ID thing. They are not being given immigration numbers when they get processed. They're moving through a processing system that does not process them, that does not give them a pathway to legalization. Our government knows that they are doing it. They're trying to funnel them in and show that they're in some form of control, but it's all folly. It's all bullshit. Okay? Because there's no way to do it. These people are going to show up. Some of them will be criminals. Some of them will be seeking asylum, but are no longer eligible for it. When they do get their hands on these people, how did you get in the country? Was that easy? Is that easy? If they can't answer that question with a little number, INS number, then boop, boop, see you later, bro. And I think that's what'll happen. I think that this is a ploy. This is a game, because I think that you're going to be like, now we're going to unleash the INS services, and we're going to get these people out of here. And then every day during the election season, it's going to be 100 of these guys and 100 of those guys, and showing immigrants in handcuffs being let off, and drop this plane load is going back to El Salvador, where 150 illegal aliens were kicked out of here because they were illegal and they broke our laws. And then Biden will be like, we're a nation of laws. It's all this cyclical. It recycles. It regurgitates itself. It's so sickening. Let's see here. Doom, you don't get a say on Texas. Yeah, shut up, Doomsday. Shut up, Jester. Anywho, okay, so we're going to go ahead and get off of that. I think we've talked about that enough. Today is, as you know, where are we at here? Freeform Friday, also known as Don't Give Up Friday. And this is where you guys kind of guide the show. I do have things spun up, but I do not plan to use my notes any more than I have to. This is a day that you put out. Everybody knows you put out on Fridays, right? So start typing stuff in the chat that we can talk about. Questions, comments, concerns, anything you want, really. Window liquor, with the exception of your foolishness. And while you're doing that, we will talk about a few other things. West Virginia Pappy says, so if I enter someone's house, it ain't legal as long as I claim I want to be there. Well, I don't know, man. We were talking about it last night. And it's pretty bad when you've got the ranchers. And that'll be on the news next. The ranchers where people are, checking their game cams and they're watching hundreds of people walk through their property. And the real problem is the ones that are going to try and take what is not theirs. The gunfights that could actually happen on somebody's property while they're trying to defend their property, while they're trying to defend themselves, their lives, their homesteads, where they live out on that border. This could be a very serious problem. When I was a teenager, I actually lived in San Ysidro, California, before it was built up. I lived in a new area, and they literally, I could see the border from my house, and I lived in the hills that would be the west of San Ysidro, and the illegal aliens. There's sensors out there. There's sensors out there that people don't even know about. I would go out there and just do like rabbit hunting and stuff like that. Getting the long tails, or I'm sorry, the long-eared rabbits. Next thing you know, Border Patrol trucks comes rolling up over the hill. He's like, "Yep, that's what I thought. You're okay. So you see anybody out here? No, sir. Okay." And it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. You could see where they would stop, take a big dump and then freaking eat their food and then change their clothes that they had in their bag and then walk into town like everything was cool. So I would see that. And there was no grass in my lawn because it was a brand new construction area. And at night, if it rained, man, we called them pollos because they ran like chickens. But they would come running through my yard at night, and you could hear them. It was like a freaking army. And then in the morning, you'd wake up, and it looked like an army ran through your damn yard. It was pretty insane. I've seen some crazy stuff on the border. I saw a little Hughes. Actually, I think it's a Bell 500 back then. Come down and an alien was running away, and they were like telling him to stop on the loudspeaker and all this other. He just went down there and like tapped him in the head with the skid of his helicopter and knocked him out. Saw some wild stuff on the border. So this is not something I don't know anything about. I'm still looking for stuff in the chat. Please don't be lazy, guys. Also, if you have not hit that like and subscribe button, now is the time. Let's raise it up in the algorithm. Let's get a little bit more attention on these types of things so that people will not have any excessive brain damage from watching crazy ass hip hop videos that make no sense. Let's see here. I'm going to roll on to the next subject. It's kind of scary. Oh, what's that? West Virginia Pappy just put something in here. Seen a news report. They are dumping all their identification papers at the border. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Because they don't want to be identified. They don't want people to know. They don't want people to know who they are, and they could just make up a name and start a new life. And hey, this is great. I don't have a problem with that. If you're a reputable person, if you're really just coming here to search out, you're seeking the American dream, I don't have a problem with that. I don't like that you're doing it illegally, but if that's the goal, if that's the honest goal, then yeah, that's it, man. But now if you're getting rid of your papers so that you can become a new person, it's not going to work. It's not going to work, because if you guys didn't know this, when the INS or the immigration services pick you up, the Border Patrol, they actually take your fingerprints. At some point, they've talked about recording biometric data. So unless you plan on, burning your fingerprints off, like they say it can be done in the movies, then you're going to need to do that. You know what I'm saying? They are doing retinal eye scans on some people. So they are collecting some biometric data, and that whatever piece of paper doesn't really matter. They catch you. You know, and they scan your eyes, and oh, you're really Hector. That's who you really are. And Hector, you are also, you know, you broke out of prison in San Juan Capistrano, and yeah, you're a rapist, and you're going back. Expedite. You know, it's a real problem. It's a real problem. They gonna force vaccination on all these peeps? Nope. Not a chance. There is no time for that. They have to get them into the infrastructure as quickly as possible. I mean, those guys need to get as far north in Texas as they can so that the governor can put them on a bus and drop them off in front of Kamala Harris's house. At this point, they're all culpable. Everybody is culpable. It's all a big freaking show. Okay. All right. Let's see. We're going to go ahead and jump into the next subject. I only see a few things in the chat, and I really wanted a few more to talk about because sometimes it's really easy just to say, okay, we talked about that, and it only takes like a couple of seconds. So let me go ahead and share this with you. If you guys didn't know this, and it may affect us, and it is a problem. Okay, basically, if you hadn't heard, Elon Musk has chosen a CEO to take over Twitter. Now, unfortunately, everybody thinks that it is this Linda Yaccarino. You know, she is a chairman at NBCU, a board director, a global leader, a marketer, a COO, a philanthropist, and a public speaker. And if you go into her resume, it's actually a executive chair of the World Economic Forum. Now, you're like, okay, this is bad. Elon, did you really do this? This is a serious problem. Well, apparently, she has actually NBC has put out a statement that says that they were so glad to have her, and that she's really coming over there. So if this is the case, I don't know. I would really hope that it is not the case, and there's actually some pretty serious thought behind this too. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up. I'm going to play this for you guys. This is actually this woman interviewing Elon Musk about a month ago, and listen to her words carefully. Listen to her words carefully, okay? Let's go ahead and switch this screen right here. We're going to switch that to, I think it's that one, and we're going to hit share, and now I'm going to hit the play.
So you've got a massive platform. You have a vision that
It's
is
as loud as the
spectrum
volume goes.
of just daily open-sourced conversation, and they can conduct their lives, their business, their commerce, whatever they can do on your platform. That's a pretty big vision. But in the middle should be advertising opportunity. That sounds like a great opportunity. I can talk about my brand, I can get my customers to communicate, and then they could also buy stuff. It sounds pretty good, right?
You'll be able to buy things just directly on Twitter. One click, boom, done.
But they need to feel that there is an opportunity for them to influence what you're building, that vision. What we're doing here, whether it's me trying to push and prod you on your tweets. For example, you've said you probably shouldn't tweet after 3 a.m.
Well, I've got myself
Probably good advice for all of us.
I've gotten myself into trouble a few times.
I'm very aware of those. So after 3 a.m., you travel all over the world. Lord knows how you handle time zones in space. Will you commit to be a little more specific and not tweet after 3 a.m.? People in this room would like to see that. It'll make them feel more confident.
I will aspire to tweet less after 3 a.m. But I mean, it is important that, you know, I mean, if I were to say, yes, you can influence me, that would be wrong.
Boom.
That would be very wrong. Because that would be a diminishment of freedom of speech.
But I want to be specific about influencing. It's more of an open feedback loop for the advertising experts in this room to help develop Twitter into a place where they will be excited about investing more money, product development, ad safety, content moderation. That's what the influence is.
Yeah, I think it's totally cool to say that you want to have your advertising appear in certain places in Twitter and not in other places. But it is not cool to try to say what Twitter will do. And if that means losing advertising dollars, we lose it. But freedom of speech is paramount.
So Twitter 1.0 had a very well-populated, much-loved influence council. I think we need to change the name. Elon does not want to be influenced. But it was really a recurring feedback loop from your key stakeholders, your advertisers, where they had recurring access or would have recurring access to you. Would you commit from this stage today to reinstate that council to be named later?
Well, I don't think it should be influence council. And you have to, I would be wary of that creating a backlash among the public, because if the public thinks that their views are being determined by a small number of CMOs in America, they will be like, I think, upset about that. But feedback, I think, is appropriate. And at the end of the day, if somebody's spending money for their ad campaign, it needs to yield results for their organization, or it doesn't make sense.
Okay, so did you guys really listen to the words that she was saying? Very, very dangerous. Very, very dangerous person. The first thing she did was try to get him to commit to not tweeting after 3 a.m. Like, okay, it's my fucking company, and I have a Twitter account, and I'll tweet whenever I want to. That's the appropriate answer. The next thing she did was she tried to get him to say that it was okay for that it would be allowed for advertisers to try and influence almost like the Nike thing, the freaking the light beer, the Bud Light thing, to try and influence individuals. You know what I'm saying? Influence means to change. Okay, that's what influence is. And then what'd she do? She wanted him to reinstitute the council. You mean the thing that was destroying Twitter? Yeah, the thing that was controlled by the federal government. Yeah, this lady is flat out World Health Organization. Now, my guess is that Elon is going to have some kind of firing capability if he does bring her on. First of all, I don't see how he thinks that he can change, the color of her stripes. It's an old adage. I don't understand why he thinks that's the case. Now, if she is all like, this has all been bullshit for the last 20 years, I've been just faking it till I make it, just to get in the in crowd to make the money, but she's really someone with conservative values on the inside, then, hey, okay, let's see what happens. Let's watch this flower bloom. But it's really hard to change the color of those stripes. It's really hard to do. And I've seen some of her other videos, and she's super left, which is a serious problem for Twitter. I hope it doesn't get all screwed up. I really don't. I'm really enjoying the experience that I have on Twitter now, and I think that more people should be using it. But you know what? It's like anything else. If it goes bad, okay, it's time to walk away. There are other platforms out there. They're slowly emerging. They could catch up. Like Rumble is catching YouTube. A lot of people are moving over to Rumble, because YouTube won't let people, say what they want to say. You gotta have a very specific set of words that you stay away from. Otherwise, YouTube will just shut you down. It's really, really bad. He will gladly advertise. He will get advertisers how truly he believes in free speech. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so I tell you what, let's go ahead and we're going to. All right, you guys have got 34 minutes of this, and this thing is killing me. So now I will emerge from the Spartan helmet. Get this thing off my nose. A little thing like on my nose. I gotta heat this up and bend it out a little bit so it's not on my nose. Yeah, hopefully I'll never have to wear that thing again. All right, so Oh, wait, I gotta look pretty. Let me look pretty real quick. There we go. Okay, now I look pretty again. Woohoo! All right, let's see here. There was some stuff in the chat. Let's see here. So Good Boys Guild says, let's talk about how we should be eating healthier and not so much processed food. We also need to be learning to cook food without power. Yeah, I have been on several diets. You know, as I get older, I'm a little bit less active. And, you know, calories in have a tendency to turn into fat because I don't put enough calories out. It's the way of the world. It's the way our bodies are made. It does not matter who says what your diet's name is. You know, calories in, calories out. It's that easy. So, one of the things that I have been doing is just not eating as much. I'll be honest with you. I just haven't been eating as much. I've stopped eating breakfast. And it is harder on my body. It really is, because my body is used to having that energy to burn until I get to lunch. And then it's just slowly stacks. But what I've done is I've stopped eating lunch. I've stopped eating breakfast. And then my lunch is minimalistic. You know, I used to have this philosophy of eating a large lunch and then a small supper. And that's okay. But what I've found is that it's really more about the calories than anything else when you start talking about maintaining diet and not becoming large. Now, if you can eat 3 to 5 meals a day, and you can run marathons, and you know what I'm saying, if you can maintain your body when they say healthy, it is all about your ability to move around, your ability to continue to stay focused, not only your body health, but your brain health. If you can continue to do that, then party on, Wayne. You know, if you're lean and mean and weigh freaking 500 pounds, who cares what the scale says? You know, but the only way you can do that is by eating healthy. You know, and one of the problems that we have is, you know, people eat a lot of processed food. You know, I have been trying to stay away from that as much as possible. I am the one who processes my food now. You know, it's kind of addictive too. You know, you don't know how many times I'm like, you know, last night we went out for a ride because the girlfriend needed something from the store. So on the way from the house to the store, it's not a long drive. I automatically thought, you know, I can get one of those giant ice cream cones, you know, the ones that have the nuts on top and everything. Got the chocolate in the bottom. And my body just said, do it. And I thought to myself, nope, don't do it, man. Don't do it, because that's great. But you just ate dinner. You're not hungry. And so I think that we need to maybe exercise a little bit of control, you know, a little bit of self-discipline, you know, maybe, because listen, guys, if you're a prepper, you need to be healthy. You need to be as healthy as you can be. I'm not saying go out and learn to power lift Volkswagens. I'm saying you need to be as healthy as you can be, because it's going to be different for everybody. If you don't have the ability to get around, there's going to be a problem. You're going to have a problem. You know, this is one of the reasons that the military focuses on physical fitness, for the most part anyway. It's a little different now from what I'm told. Basically, I'm seeing a lot of fat Marines in videos. Anyway, you know, it's your ability to get around, it's your ability to function, it's your ability to work. And then there's some people that have this mindset that, oh, well, it's okay, man, because SHTF is going to come. There's not going to be a lot of food. I'm just going to live off my fat. You're not. You're absolutely not. You're going to be fatigued. You're going to be malaised. You're going to be, when you can't get the food in your body and you think that you're going to get skinny because the world's ending, you know what? All you're going to do is get dead. That's not how nutritional values work. So let that sink in for a while. Now, the other thing too is, you know, just eating healthier. You know, I'm sorry, learning how to cook without power. Absolutely. You know, I don't understand. I don't understand why we love camping and we love making campfires, but we rarely cook on our campfires. Have you guys ever noticed that? I mean, if you're not at least heating water up to put food in, you know, in a bag and let it set for 5 minutes and eat it, which is still not really good for you unless you have some high-end stuff, then you're kind of blowing it. You know, why didn't you carry some eggs into the bush? Why didn't you carry some bacon into the bush? You know what I'm saying? Why didn't you carry, you know, something that needs to be cooked or heated? You know, I know people that carry like steaks into the woods. You know, why not? They're not going to go bad in 24 hours. That's not going to, they are not mayonnaise, okay? And here's the thing too. It's like I make my own mayonnaise. I love my mayonnaise. It's so good. You know, and you know, one thing feeds the other. When I do make an omelet, I'll make an egg white only an egg white. It's egg whites. It's 3 egg whites, sometimes 4, believe it or not. And because that's only like 40 calories per egg. That's nothing. Um and then some baby spinach. I'll pre-cook that and basically get it all softened up and everything. And then I'll mix that with the eggs and then put that in, make that part of the omelet. And then I'll get 1 slice of provolone cheese and I'll break it up inside of there. Man, when that sucker comes out, I hit it with a little hot sauce. It is just as good as a standard 2-egg omelet that's got 20 pounds of cheese in it. It's absolutely unbelievable. And these are things that are all healthy for you, you know? Now, if I could find some like real cheese that's, well, actually, I think the provolone that I use is like real cheese. It's got the bubbles in it and everything. So think about things like that. You know, I mean, you know, we were in the store yesterday and we're walking around. It's like, have you guys ever noticed that all the cheapest foods are like what we would consider like prepper foods, like mac and cheese, spaghetti, you know, the different pastas, stuff that, you know, the creamy stuff that comes in cans, raviolis, you know, all this stuff that we can put on a shelf and last forever. Prepper food will make you fat. Prepper food will make you fat. So think about that in your day to day. You know, maybe you don't need to eat that can of raviolis. Maybe go buy the stuff to make a salad and have a salad. You know what I'm saying? It's good for you. Your body's going to thank you for it. And you're going to get to live a little bit longer, I think. And don't worry, I don't eat like a bird. I love my steaks. I love my pork chop. I love my chicken. I love my turkey. You know what I'm saying? I am an omnivore. So let's see here. Bob 11 Papa showed up. Good morning. Hicktown Honey showed up. There you go, girl. Tardy to the secret at work party. I missed the hat. I got you, Hicktown. Well, you'll have to watch the replay because I'm not putting it back on. Let's see what we got here. I'm going to go ahead and check the YouTube chat real quick. Crowded Priven strategy. Crowden Priven strategy to overwhelm the system and take it. Yeah, I'm aware of it. It's Crowden Priven. There you go. Let's see. They started a fire and camped out in the middle of my buddy's road in Southern California, leaving trash everywhere. I believe it. They don't run from the Border Patrol anymore. I know, because they just process them and release them. They give them rides everywhere. What do we got here? Sir Syntaxed. Good morning. Good to see you. Over there on the old Twitch. Nice. I got people watching me on Twitch. I appreciate that. Let's see here. I'm here Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern. Let's see here. I think he's a tool. I think he's a tool bag. I don't know what you're talking about. Window liquor, you're just rambling on. Like short circuit. He talked. I don't know. Okay, we're done. Let's see. I was always told when you're looking up your search and thinking about your answer, he's always looking up. Does he know or is curious about this? I don't know what you guys are talking about. I have no idea what you guys are talking about. Can you dig 2 small holes, then tunnel them together, burn oak in 1 hole and cook? on the other hole, smokeless fire pit. Yeah, you can actually just turn that into a smoker, and you can just smoke meat that way. It's basically the offshoot for a Dakota fire, is what it is. But what you have to do is you have to make the tunnel. You have to make the hole a little bit further away, and what you want to do is you want to put the smoke end of the hole higher than the fire end of the hole. And it also gives a chance for the smoke to cool and become denser as it gets forced up into the smoking hole, and then you can literally put stuff right over the top of it and smoke it with a Bosk. I got you. You guys are talking about Elon. Yeah. Let's see here. I came back into creamy stuff. You're a dirty bird. When I injured my dominant hand, I realized we should learn how to do things with the other hand. Yeah, I had to learn how to operate a computer with my left hand because I broke my right elbow some years back. All right, let's see here. I don't see anything else in the chat, guys. We still have about 15 more minutes. Make sure let's go ahead and populate the chat for me real quick. I'm gonna make this flash for a second. Now it's off. 3, 2, 1. Now it's on. There we go. Let's go ahead and post those topics and questions inside the chat, and then we can continue on doing what we're supposed to be doing here on Freeform Friday. Okay, so where did the giraffe go? The giraffe is still there, dude. He's right there. You just don't get to see everything because you're on Clapper, you slacker. Let's see here. All right. So we talked about that. All right. So there is. I've been noticing a trend, and I'm going to show you a couple things as we get closer to the 2024. That thing. If I use that word, that E word, where there's going to be a I'm the president. No, I'm the president. Then this will get slowed down in the algorithm. So I won't say that. But as we get closer to that, guys, they are trying to do everything in their power to stop communications that they cannot control. Okay. I got this up for you right now here. I don't really care about this. Persuasion, not coercion. How a judge thought Senator Elizabeth Warren is allowed to push Amazon to ban books. Wow. We're going to start banning books. Let's see here. What do we got here? Senate Judiciary Committee. Oh, the Senate. Isn't that special? Senate Judiciary Committee advances bill that would end private messaging. Can anybody say dead in the house? We were just talking about that. That was actually the intro video. I clicked that right there and downloaded it for you to watch. And that's what played on the intro video. They're doing everything in their power to control our digital speech because they know because of the way the former president used social media, used the internet to win. They were like, holy crap, how did this happen? You guys remember that night? All the crazy channels were pulling their freaking hair out. They couldn't figure out how he did it. And so now they're on to his game, and now they want to stop everything. Now, unfortunately for them, dude, they have reached his campaign has reached what they call maximum saturation. At this point, you either know who you're going to vote for or you know who you're going to vote for. There's no question about it. And they unfortunately don't want it to happen, but it's going to anyway. So Brazilian justice will punish tech companies that criticize the government's censorship law. Isn't that special? I don't like your law. Go to jail. Yeah, this is all 1984 wrapped up in a nice big bandage of, made of fucking baby diapers. Canadian police officer who donated $50 to the Freedom Convoy could be forced into unpaid work. Oh my God, that's not dystopian at all, is it? Oh, look. Oh, she's back. She's back. This crazy wench is back. Former Disinformation Board Chief Nina Zhakowicz sues Fox for defamation. Oh, it's going to be interesting. I guess she got her money. I guess she got enough money in her GoFundMe account. I'm actually kind of curious. Where are we at? Zhakowicz. Let me see. I'm going to look it up first real quick. Jekylowitz, GoFundMe accounts. See, FundMe is accountable for its lies. She never reached her goal. She never reached her goal. That's hilarious. Let's see here. Her goal was to hold on. Let me see if I can share this for you real quick. It's unfortunate, but I can't just jump back and forth quickly. Her goal was to reach $100,000, and she only got $57,000. I guess it was enough to get the lawyer started. There's no telling. It's a joke, man. It's all a freaking joke. But let's go ahead and get back on this one. No one cares. Oh, what's this guy saying? Bank of England fintech director says an anonymity is quote a public policy problem and something that should not be allowed to continue. Oh, no one should have anonymity. It's a big word. You guys should probably look it up. Let's see. What else? Okay, so we're done with that one. And magically, you're going to love this. It's going to get better, I promise. I'm going to share that one out to you. DHS, look at this moron. Have you guys watched this guy talk? He was actually on the White House press briefing yesterday, and he was just sweating his ass off. They were asking him questions, and he didn't get snarky like he normally does, in the middle of a hearing with Congress people. Yeah, this guy is a turd. This guy is a 100% turd. DHS created radicalization scenarios, including online gamer who uses mean language and a budding conspiracy theorist. Yeah, that's right. U.S. taxpayers are footing the bill for a DHS experiment involving the creation of a game-like program whose stated goal is to make sure people make the right real-life decisions. Their goal is to have you to make the right real-life decisions, especially in terms known as domestic terrorism, and learn to recognize signs of radicalization. How come when people don't agree with you, you call them a radical, Mr. Mayorka? Why is that? That's so interesting. And this isn't just something that was made up. They actually got the documents. It's pretty crazy. Some of the radicalization scenarios presented in the proposal that originated from DHS Office for Targeted Violence and Terrorism Prevention, the OTVTP, that sounds like an STD, include fictitious characters like an online gamer who is described as using mean and degrading language, as well as a budding conspiracy theorist and a pro-life activist and a stepfather who is also anti-government authority and an abusive parent. Isn't that special? They're not targeting anybody, are they, guys? These are the documents. Oh, isn't that special? Look I love the little logo here. It's so nice. And they want it on websites, social media, paid media, earned media, and stakeholder outreaches. Oh, look, a profile. Visually, we see a portrait of our propagandist, Courtney, along with stock footage that you would associate with a suburban mom. Laundry, minivan, etc. Sound effects help build Courtney's environment. Yeah. And they just go on. These are like little character builds. It is absolutely insane what they're trying to do. All right, let's see here. Nobody cares. Oops, what's this? Oops. Leaked legal analysis of EU's private message snooping plans says it interferes with fundamental rights. Guys, they are all out after our ability to communicate. It's a problem. You should be aware of it. You should absolutely be aware of it. I'm not saying freak because, one day it's going to be like, oh, what just happened? Nothing. Nothing happened. Nothing to see here. That's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. All right, so we're running out of time here. It looks like I have another question from Jeff Throw. Thanks. Oh, tough question. That is controversial since we never dropped the old YouTube stuff. Jeff No Thanks says, do you think it will come to militias forming at the border to protect And what would that look like? I could imagine it would get pretty ugly. Ugly. No, I do not. And I say that because after January, not the 5th and not the 7th, but in the middle, see how I have to do that? I fucking hate that. After that day, after the people that are all locked up because of their affiliation with these organizations that are literally awaiting trial. Talk about, you know, the right to speedy trial. It's been 2 years. I mean, come on, man. Every one of these people should probably be let out, regardless. But anyway, so there's a lot of fear of that. There's a lot of fear of just being associated with these organizations. So honestly, a lot of them have shut down. A lot of them have gone underground. A lot of them are not online in any way, shape, or form, and they're only recruiting or operating using you know, face-to-face communications. And so no, I don't think so, because you would need to be able to coordinate, and it's a little difficult to do. It's not impossible. You know, obviously they could do what they did before and use handheld radios and things like that. But just seeing these militias being tracked down by the FBI and some of these people being arrested has basically put the fear of God into them. So if they still exist, then okay. But if my gut is that the majority of them have kind of disbanded now. And it's actually kind of become a dirty word. It really has. You know, if you guys don't remember when that happened, there was this huge thing on locals that they kind of funneled into the locals. And it was just easier for the FBI to find them there. They were really stupid about it. They figured this was a safe space, and they started running their sucks inside of there. And I was like, dude. Then you know, I received phone calls from certain people, and they're like, dude, if you know anything about this, you need to move away from it now. It's going to get bad in the next 6 months. So that's what I told all my friends to do, and the people that got out got out. And ironically, you got what is it? Mike Lowe, I think his name is. I cannot remember his the old he's one of the big guys. I was in special forces. He's one of those guys. You know, he got tagged. He got tagged as put on a terrorist watch list. Everything identified as a problem child by the FBI, by the Department of Justice. And so, yeah, it really happened, and it continues on to this day. It's all about the tentacles and whether they can get them around your neck or not, you know. So I don't think that the whole militia thing is ever going to happen there on the borders. Now, there is the possibility, and there's a strong possibility, that within small towns that the citizenry might be deputized in order to protect the towns. In the cities, no, it's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. But in these small rural towns where like buses don't even stop there, you know what I'm saying? They're that small. I could very easily see citizenry being deputized in order to protect the community, patrolling, you know, beef up, you know, one police officer, one citizen, you know, possibly, you know, I hate to say it, but I could see checkpoints within these small towns, one on each side where the main road goes right through there, and no, you can't come in here, go around. You know what I'm saying? Things like that, or just basically ordering travel through, do not stop. If you do, you're going to be arrested. It's that easy. I could see curfews after a certain period of time being used in these small towns just to control what is happening on the streets. So there's a lot of variables there. I mean, there is a lot of variables. You know, doing something like that could actually force, it could actually force these people that are on foot to move around the towns and into ultra rural areas where you might actually have a more personalized version of somebody trespassing. Yeah. And so You know, in places where where it takes 15 minutes to half an hour for a police officer to show up, for law enforcement to show up, these problems could be exasperated. Okay, so we're at the end of our 1 hour, and you know, I've got to keep the lights on, guys. I've got to keep the lights on. The first way is by becoming a Patreon. If you're not a Patreon, you're not part of that community. It's just that easy. It's a digital community. It's designed to support you, and if I can't make you do anything. I can't make you do it. But you know what? Right now, there's a trial period where you can get in there and see if you like it for about 14 days. If you do like it, what I tell people is to start using the annual payment instead of the 3 months, because you basically only spend like, I want to say it's like $30 for the entire year. And that keeps me going for an entire year. So look into that, guys. I think it's actually smart. Then I want to talk to you about the food. You know, as you guys know, I've moved away from the largest. I used to sell or promote or affiliate for the largest supplier of survival food on the planet. We've come to irreconcilable differences. You guys know that I won't bend when you start talking about services and quality. It's got to be worth the money, and it's got to be not gruel. So things changed. So I did. So now I'm an affiliate for Augustin Farms. I think it's a better deal. Top-notch food. Keep it on your shelves. Comes in number 10 cans. It's affordable, and you can scale it. You can buy it in pieces to get where you want to be, instead of being told, oh, you want 2 weeks worth of food? Give me $575. Yeah, like we're just going to all run out and do that. So let that one sink in there. Have fun with that, guys. Let's see here. EMP Shield. Why? Because I have a plan. Because if some shit goes down, my car will run. Yours will not. It's that easy. If you're smart, and I have promo codes for all this, guys, so make sure you hit these links. Find them in my profile. Find them on my link tree. Find them someplace. I always try to find some way for you guys to save some money. So $50 off. Local Prepper, all one word. Boom, you're there. Let's see. And I hope I'm getting that right, because sometimes they like to add numbers to these things. Yeah, it's all one word. It's all one word. Where are we at here? Jace Medical. Jace Medical. Guys, if you do not have antibiotics in your preparedness kit, you are screwing up. You are screwing up. Let's say all these immigrants come in here. You think they're not going to overwhelm the medical system? Do you think they're not going to overwhelm that? Everything is going to be overwhelmed, guys. So take a look at it. Also, they have a brand new plan where if you have long-term medical needs, pharmaceutical medical needs, you can actually buy up to a year's of your prescription, as long as they carry it. Yeah, you can do that. Also, the code applies, guys. You're going to save $15 on every single time you do it. All right, and last but not least, I haven't talked about these guys in a while. Listen, we can't forget the fact that China is our enemy. We can't forget the fact, and they want us to forget it. They want us to, we'll just keep doing what we're doing on the side. You guys go tear yourselves apart, because that's what they want. We talk about the EMP. Yeah. What if it's worse than that? What if it's an actual nuclear weapon that actually is detonated, that actually creates fallout? What if the train derails next to your house? Yeah, you need to have some kind of protection. That's right. I've got a code. You can save 25% every time you do it. And I hate to say this for the company, but the price of these masks have gone down dramatically. You can pick up one of these masks now for probably around $65. Don't quote me on that. Take a look at it. Use the code, guys. Save yourself some money. You're adults. Spend your money where you want to. Okay, I think that's going to be the end of it. Hopefully you guys got something out of it today. And I will see you guys back on Monday. So, as usual, stay safe. Have a great day, and I'll see you when I see you. We'll talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.